Hello together and welcome back. My name is Jens. We discuss on weekly basis these four assets: S&P 500, US oil, gold and Bitcoin on the weekly, daily and 4-hour time frame, and analyze it via price action so that you know what to do in the markets the weeks ahead. Let's start directly with the S&P 500 index. Here the S&P 500 on the weekly, we can see that we're in an uptrend, making new higher highs and higher lows so far. Something concerning is the MACD indicator, because it's making lower highs and lower lows while price is doing the opposite. That's a MACD divergence and could lead into a correction like it did back in the days here, where we have seen higher highs and lower highs on the MACD. After that, war between Ukraine and Russia happened. It hasn't to be that extreme the next time, but just stay a little bit cautious and maybe don't use too much risk in the trades at the S&P 500 index. That said, let's go to the daily time frame. Here we can see the daily uptrend line in white is still intact. Here we have seen probably the high for the next move. We are tanking a little bit down. Maybe it stops at the white daily uptrend line, or we break it and get stopped on this daily support and resistance zone here, drawn also on white. The only thing that shouldn't happen is a break below this area or even the weekly orange uptrend line. That would be pretty bearish, and then I would expect further movement to the downside. That's not my favorite scenario or the most likely at the moment in my view. More likely is that we will see maybe a turn, a correction, and that we will then break this again higher to the upside, and we will see higher highs, the end rally of the year, so to say. It could also look something like that. I keep you updated how it will evolve. If we have a look at the 4-hour time frame, here we hit this 4 support resistance zone, so it could well happen that we open up on Monday a little bit stronger and then make an ABC correction. Let's draw it in, ABC. And then if we see here a break to the upside, that could be a tradable event. But like I said, there's also the possibility that this correction will dip a little bit lower, maybe hitting here the 200 moving average or so. Yep, so for this week, I think no trades until we see the full correction in ABC pattern and the breakout. But I'll keep you updated on my next weekend report. That's it for the S&P 500. Let's switch to US oil. On oil at the weekly time frame, we can see this red monthly solid downtrend line that got clearly broken to the upside before it moved into a weekly consolidation or correction and got supported by the 200 moving average till it doesn't, and now it turned resistance, and we have seen lower prices in oil. At the daily time frame, we can see this daily triangle formation where oil was moving inside till it broke down to the downside, and here you can see that the 200 moving average was resistance here for price, and it tanked again lower. And yeah, at the moment it seems like the daily downtrend line is broken to the upside, but we have to make an ABC correction to the downside. So in my view, it's likely that we will take out this low here again to the downside, and then from there on, maybe around this low or even the monthly support and resistance zone, the weekly orange support and resistance zone here, and we bounce from there, and then that we will see finally rising prices again, and that this will finish this weekly correction to the downside after the break of this monthly one to the upside. At the 4-hour time frame, we can see it in more detail. First, I thought this would be the correction and that we have seen here the breakout, but it wasn't the case. So I stopped myself manually out of my trade before we was hitting a stop loss. It was a good decision afterwards. And yeah, here we can see that we are tanking lower. At the moment, we haven't been able to take out this low, but I could well imagine that it will happen next week. Here we can also see the MACD indicator, the short-term one, also cross to the downside, speaking for lower prices. If we take out this low here, I would be able to move this 4-hour downtrend line to this, and then we have a clear setup if we see a break and a retest of this 4-hour downtrend line. Let's say it moves lower and then it finally breaks out, makes a retest, and then higher prices from there. This area here would be really interesting for long trades in US oil. It will probably not be the case this week, but I keep you updated on my next weekend report. Let's follow up with gold on the weekly time frame. Here we can see that we skyrocketed right through after breaking out of this often tested resistance zone here, and then we have seen an impulse, a correction, another impulse, and now we are in another correction. I think that's clear. MACD also crossed like expected finally to the downside. Sadly, I wasn't able to catch that massive move to the downside in a trade, but doesn't matter. We will get another trade if we see, again, long opportunities. Let's talk about that at the daily time frame, because here we can see the MACD divergence was drawing in already last update, and afterwards this correction followed. The daily white uptrend line is broken to the downside. I think we are a little bit oversold right now, and that we have to see somehow a correction again to the upside before we then probably turn again and make the final move to the downside. By the way, the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement from the low to the high here is aligning pretty much with the daily time frame, the Fibonacci retracement tool here from the low to the high with the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, which is the most important, together with the 0.382 Fibonacci. So from that standpoint, it's pretty likely that if we will get to this zone here, we will get here a nice bounce, and maybe we can also then draw in an ABC correction, and a breakout of it would be pretty bullish in my view. Yeah, that could look like the following: retest, and there's the trading opportunity in this area, and then again higher highs, maybe at to the end of the year. But I think we will first have to see this leg B and then the leg C. So we got plenty of time till that happens. At least that's my prediction. You can feel free to share your own ideas in the comment section. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see the drop and different angles here. I don't know why this one is there. So now we are clear again. MACD also looks like it wants to build up a bottom here. So I'm expecting, like I said, at the daily, that we will see a rise here before we then turn again to the downside. Maybe even a little bit higher, even if we break. I wouldn't trade this solely if we see a break of this to the upside. We would first have to see a correction, then a break to the upside to say this could be the end of the correction, because I'm, like I said on the daily, I'm expecting further downside movement before recovering and starting again to the upside. That's my idea on gold. And yeah, let's switch last but not least to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, as beautiful as it could get. We got a long-lasting sideways downtrending consolidation, and then a final break to the upside, MACD also crossing to the upside, and then a massive move to the upside into new all-time highs, reaching $93,000 per Bitcoin. Isn't that amazing? Congrats to all traders that was catching that move and are long-term invested as well. Let's drop down to the daily time frame to see what will happen the next days and weeks. Here on the daily time frame, this sideways daily price channel is lying behind us because we finally have been able to break out to the upside. I entered the trade a little bit earlier, but then I added a little bit to my position, so my stop loss moved right at the last all-time high, and my stop loss is below the last low. Till now, I have this stop loss intact. I'm not moving it to my entry level, because here's the daily secondary uptrend line, and yeah, I don't think that it will happen, but maybe it will come all the way back down. Not so likely in my view, but I don't want to risk to get out of this trade here, and then that we bounce here again to the upside. I already was taking my first take profit. I was splitting my take profit with this massive move into 3 parts. So my first take profit was around $83,000 per Bitcoin. I wasn't expecting such a fast move, so I wasn't setting up a manually an automatically selling area with this trading software. Instead, I realized a little bit later that we have broken through this level, and then manually sold 1/3 of my position. So at the moment, I'm not risking any more 3% at my account balance, but only 2%. And I was able to make a profit. Let's see, yeah, $1,600 with selling 1/3 of my position. And I'm feeling pretty good with that, even if I could have sold it later. But that's it. If you're making a plan, execute like that, and you're good. Where would be the next area? Here I have an automatically sell limit order with, again, selling then half of the rest of the position, so another third. That would be around 94,000 US dollars. We nearly hit it, but we haven't. And then I think if we get above that one, we will probably get also to the 100,000 level. And if we would break through that, I think it's all around the media and other people coming into the market. So I think the $106,000 mark is pretty likely. What could happen the next days? You can see we have a little bit of struggle here at this area. But like you have seen, the SP 500 index is coming by a good move down. Bitcoin relatively strong in comparison. So I'm feeling good about this position. And I don't think that we will see a move lower than the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level from this low to this high. And yeah, maybe retesting this 10-day moving average here. And that would be absolutely fine before then continuation to the upside. Yeah. What is not allowed to happen, it's not allowed to happen for Bitcoin to fall below this area here. If we get below back inside this range, that would be absolutely bearish and would take out the momentum, and probably lower prices would follow. Absolutely not likely in my view. I'm pretty bullish and you should stay too, but make research by yourself. I'm pretty happy with this move that I catched here. We have long waited for that and predicted and talked a lot about it. Yeah, sometimes you have to be right with a big move. Because of that, I was risking 3% on this trade and not only 2%. It was a AAA scenario. So if you see something really good, grab it and take advantage of it. And then with the other things you're not so 100% sure about it, take a little bit less risk. That's it for this week. I got a full weekend next week, so I'm not sure when I'm able to upload a video or make some. Maybe you have to wait till Monday that you get one. Yeah, have a great week. Much success trading the markets. If you have any questions, comment below the video. I will answer them as quickly as possible. Bye bye.